here today in the ThinkTech studios in downtown Honolulu with Andrew and Rita Fowers, and they're here to talk about their new venture and some of the products they've been working on. We're very excited to hear about those products. So Andrew, you and Rita have established a business dealing with hospitality in Waikiki. Can you tell us what that's about? How does that work?
Well, thank you. Actually, it's not just for Waikiki. Waikiki is the best place to start and test this product, but from there we plan to grow it not only to the island of Oahu, but also the outer islands, as well as every other major city. It really is a core product that we think applies in pretty much everywhere.
I'm curious, so exactly what does the product do?
Sure.
Rita, you want to talk to us about that?
Sure. Our product is a combination of a website and mobile applications that includes iPhone, BlackBerry, Android, and Windows Mobile. And basically the concept behind the product is that we want to provide genuine user-generated content for travelers who are traveling to a strange and unfamiliar city, so that they can get real accurate content from other travelers and local businesses as well. So what we're doing is we're actually setting up a website where local businesses can come and register their business and upload information about their business on our website. And other travelers who've been to the island can also share their experiences and tips for other people who are also coming too. Now, all this information can be accessed on our cell phone application, so you can bring it with you when you're traveling in Waikiki, in North Shore, in Maui, in Big Island. And the part of the mobile application is that it combines so much more: GPS, multimedia, so it actually can give you directions, give you different features that you can never experience on a website. And so that's a basic concept behind our product.
Okay, and this is under Travomate.com?
Yes.
That's correct.
Travo.com.
That's correct. And really what she's trying to say is there is a disconnect in the world right now. We have an abundant source of web information that is so prevalent, especially in regards to Hawaii and tourism. Everyone knows there's many websites to go to. But what happens when people come to the island is they feel a sense of maybe disconnect, where they don't have access to that information that they've researched, they've learned about, and maybe they forgot to bring that little booklet with all the phone numbers on it, and they're not really sure about the directions of where to go. And so what ends up happening is there's not a really fluid travel experience from pre-arrival to post-arrival. So what we're trying to do is, in a sustainable business model, connect those two so they really have access to information throughout their whole process. And really what we hope to provide is quality content. So it not only can they access phone numbers and information, but also get directions to any variety of activities, events, or places here in Hawaii.
Okay, so tell me about the user experience. Let's assume I just got off the plane from Cleveland and I have with me my cell phone. What happens?
Well, first of all, you take off your big snow jacket and you put that on the side and get in your flip-flops and your board shorts, and really our product starts prior to them even coming on the plane. This starts, of course, through marketing and whatnot to promote this concept. So as they're preparing for their travel arrangements, they're looking for local content, what's the best places to go and what to do. So they have an opportunity to go to our website to search around of different types of activities. Now, our website primarily is not a booking website. This is more of a way to help pre-plan your trip. And so what they can do is to select different types of events or activities that they prefer, and they can actually download this itinerary into their own smartphone device. Wow. So this is a download model. So prior to their arrival, they, let's say, have an iPhone. That's a wonderful market. We also provide the same solution for BlackBerry, Android, and Windows Mobile. So whatever types of smartphones they have, which that's a pretty large market there. They can download this basically a web application. Now, this is not just an application that's standalone. It has active live content that feeds from the website. Now, not only does it just content that feeds from a website, but actually local businesses can update their content, can update their information. They can put the fresh fish of the day. And so these local businesses can actively promote what they need to explain to customers. And so let's go back to the customer experience. They download all this content that's very real and active.
They've done this in Cleveland.
Yeah.
It's already done.
They've
Okay.
done this, a lot of this in Cleveland. Now, perhaps some people kind of on the spur of the moment, they can also use it on the island. So they download it into their phone, they get off the plane, and the first thing they say is, "Where's my hotel?" And that's all, of course, in the itinerary. They can actually get directions directly to their hotel. And the next day they wake up, I'm really excited for the activity today. Let's give them a call and tell them I'm going to be a little bit late. And so that can all be accessed through the Travomate Honolulu City Guide application. That's something she didn't mention, but the concept of it is the city guide. It's an easy point of contact not only for local businesses but for the customers.
And what does it look like?
Well, we have a brief prototype that we can show you here if the camera were to zoom in close enough.
Well, the camera can do that. Why don't you hold it up and
Sure.
we'll see if we can zoom into it, okay?
Okay. Tell me if the angle is good.
Okay, I'm right on it. So now your job is to explain it
Sure.
while we're looking at it. Okay, Rita, this is your big opportunity.
Awesome. Okay, so we're looking at this phone. It's an Android HTC Android Hero. From the screen, you can see most of the applications on the home screen were developed by us. I'm going to show you the application, of course, we're talking about today. It's called Travomate Honolulu City Guide. I'm going to go ahead and click on the icon.
Hold it flat because otherwise I can't see it.
Can you
That's
see it
good.
this
A
way?
little
Okay.
higher.
A little higher?
Yeah.
Okay. So what you can see is upon opening, you'll see a map in the middle. And there's a blue dot that shows our current location. So as we can see, and I can even zoom in, we're somewhere close to Bishop Street in Alakea. Now on the top of the screen, you can see a white message board. This is where the live news feed will come. So for example, tonight, let's say if tonight is Friday night at nighttime, around 7:45, there's always fireworks at Hilton Hawaiian Village. The news feed will say, "Hey, tonight 7:45, fireworks. Don't forget to check it out." And so we can actually click on different icons where we can check on different activities. There's options for land activities, sky adventures, different things, different water activities. There's different options for transportation, different options for food for different types of restaurants that you can select from, and different tips from other travelers. Now, I'm going to show you a really special feature that we implemented, which is on this map that you're seeing, we actually can pinpoint shops. And so local businesses, they have an opportunity to register their shops and give us their address. What we can do is we can put their shops on our map. For example, right now I just click on the icon for Crazy Shirts. I can click on a different icon. This is a Benihana Japanese restaurant at Hilton Hawaiian Village. And today I have a demonstration for you, which is not only can you click around and see where shops and where businesses are, you can actually open this button so you can go to the detail page that shows. For example, I just opened the page for Polynesian Culture Center. On this page, you can view different information regarding the location, what are the deals that are being offered, what about the owner, the organization behind. You can call directly out from the phone, you can see it on the map, or you can directly view the website. And this is part of the concept of Travomate, is to provide user useful information that they can view anytime during their trip here in Hawaii.
Wow. So what would you add to that, Andrew? Let me zoom back
I-
here. Let me zoom back to get your faces again. So what would you add to Rita's
would-
exposition?
I would say that not only is this model sustainable, but we will effectively save thousands and thousands of trees. Many of the magazine publications have close to 1 million in distribution, with magazines that cannot be recycled. And so what we have is a lot of waste where people flip through it and they throw it away. And that's how the current market for distributing information on the island. And I think that with technology, there's definitely opportunity to improve on that. And so they can access the information through their own handheld device.
So you guys are partners, huh?
Yes.
And you're also partners in life, eh?
Yeah, partners in crime and partners in life.
So
Yes.
did you meet in technology?
We actually met at our business. Just to give you a brief history, this company started 2 years ago using the GPS technology to provide content, information to visitors. And what we've done is actually to create what's called a GPS audio tour. Now, this is our first model
You want me
product.
to zoom in on that now too?
Not necessary. This is more just for show. But this product is where tourists can access an audio tour that plays automatically as they drive the island. And so we're currently working with Dollar and Thrifty Rent-A-Car to actually provide this solution to their customers starting this April. So this is the first version product that we kind of grew into. Now, as our business progressed, we started to see the market shifting in very exciting ways. And so we decided early on to actually branch into a different type of sector, which is the mobile application market. Now, at that time, Rita actually headed up that development. So just to give you a little background about us, ourselves, this company of ours was actually founded as we were students. If we had a garage, we'd probably be in the garage, but it was a very traditional startup. Started very early. We had actually met at BYU Hawaii, and a year after we met, we were married, and a year after that, we actually founded this business.
Oh.
And so after we graduated, or during our senior year, we actually were partially funded by the Center for Entrepreneurship at Brigham Young University, receiving a few rounds of initial funding to actually develop this product, which I mentioned will be starting here in April of this 2010. So since then, we've actually moved our offices to Waikiki just about 6 or 7 months ago. And since then, we've been developing more upon the mobile application part of our business. And what's so exciting about this is we actually went to the customers first. We started meeting with various customers here in the island to get their feedback about this product concept. And since then, we've actually had much more clear direction of what the market desires. And so here's where we're at currently in a prototype stage of a startup business, which what I would consider early stage entrepreneurship, but we're at a point where we have customers already interested. And what we need to do now is to raise a little bit of capital to complete the product and actually implement the concept in the marketplace.
So, what kind of customers? You don't have to name them if you don't want, but what kinds of customers have expressed interest in, I guess, the first product, the one that Rita described? What do you call that product?
It's called Travomate Honolulu City Guide.
Okay, City Guide.
Yes.
And the other one is the tour.
Yeah, GPS audio tour.
GPS audio tour. Those are the two, yeah?
That's correct.
So in the first one, what kind of customers have expressed interest in actually buying your product and giving you money for your product?
Sure. We actually have been going around and speaking with a few hotel clients, and we went to the major hotels here in Waikiki. They're all very interested in co-branding this product and offering to their guests as they come to Hawaii and experience the environments and places here. And we've also talked with the Hawaii Convention Center, and they're also very interested in this product as well. As we know, every year they bring a lot of conference groups here on the island, and this is something that they're also interested in offering to their customers.
Fabulous. And you mentioned before that you have a rent-a-car company that's interested in the GPS tour product.
Yes, and just to mention in short, the GPS tour product is both English and Japanese.
Ah.
And so depending on the customer base, they actually get their own custom tour. Now these are about 2 to 3 minute audio snippets of each location. And this was also co-produced with a local travel agency called JTB Hawaii.
So, tell me about the audio snippets. The audio snippets are on the tour, on the GPS tour?
Yeah,
How do I access that?
Oh, they're actually stored in an SD chip that the customer will get upon arrival.
Yeah.
So as they give the GPS device, they also explain there's an SD chip that when you're ready to listen to the tour, just insert the SD chip. And from there, the tour actually plays automatically. So as the customer drives, with the top down, cruising in their convertibles, the tour will just automatically play. And so as they near, let's say, the Polynesian Culture Center or Laie,
Yeah.
it'll give a brief explanation. And really what this does is help create a sense of place. That's really important here in Hawaii. And not only is it informational, but it's also very historical, going back to the legends, the folklore, the history. And so really what this is for the free independent travelers who want to access that very local information.
So if I arrive at the Polynesian Cultural Center in Laie, is it going to play a video for me automatically?
It'll actually be audio. This is primarily audio tour, but it will play automatically through the speakers here internally. You can also hook it up to the radio if you like.
Okay, and if I stop for lunch and it slows me down, does the thing stop?
Yes,
It's not going to play a tour when I'm not there.
Yes, this is not a CD. It's a GPS triggered. So when you're within a certain area perimeter, it'll trigger the audio.
Okay, what about video now? Actually, Andrew, are you working on that too?
Actually, the video is not supported by these devices in car rentals. The technology was really high tech, maybe 3 to 5 years ago. But as we know here speaking with ThinkTech Hawaii, technology moves rapidly. And so we also have moved rapidly into the next generation tour product, which really is a smartphone device.
Oh, interesting, sure. And that would be better than the Garmin type device.
Yes, much
is
more
limited.
restricted. The operating system and the development platform is much more restrictive than many of the smartphone devices offered.
So which one's your favorite, Rita?
Of course, the phone.
Okay.
It's up and coming. It's the future.
So do you bring Japanese to this partnership?
Yes.
You can. You sound like you're maybe a native-born Japanese.
Well, I'm actually Chinese.
Chinese. Oh,
Yes.
okay. Okay. But you speak Japanese.
I don't. We actually have partners that we work with that speak Japanese, and they are from Japan and offer us different information that we need to know in order to develop a product in Japanese.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
And so, which one of you is the coding person, the programmer? Raise his hand, Andrew. No?
Actually, neither of us.
Oh, really?
Yes. Andrew is in charge of business development, and I'm in
Uh-huh.
charge of product development.
Ah.
So I design and I do the graphics for the product. But we actually have programmers that we work with that are not in the partnership, but it's on a project basis as of now. And we've been working together for a while, and it's just been a great learning experience working with the magicians.
Yeah.
So we do have resources, teams that specialize in different platforms that we've been able to really find the best skills out there, both on island and off island, to provide really what we think is really quality product.
Well, I'm very impressed, you guys. You know, you started out of the box with some great ideas, and now you actually have a team working for you on graphics, on programming. These are not easy issues. Where did you find the people who could do this work for you? Don't say Brigham Young.
Sure.
Well, yes, our first answer is BYU.
Okay.
The first programmer that we started working with is a lecturer, a professor there on campus, and we started working together. But we realized that he was getting too busy between classes and his lab hours and working with us. So we actually branched out and we looked for local resources, Craigslist, and of course we also moved to outside of the islands, go to the mainland, and now we are also working with programmers in Europe and in Asia. And we felt that by bringing different talents together, we can effectively minimize our cost, but increases our productivity.
Oh.
So she does quite a bit of communication and development work. We're talking all types, all hours of the day, communicating with different resources throughout the world.
Well, so you have a network now of programmers and people who support you. This is in creating the product, yeah?
Yes.
From Asia, I suppose. And would that include China? Did you find
Yes.
programmers in China?
Mhm.
What part of China?
Beijing.
Beijing.
Beijing. The
And
capital.
what, did you know them, or did you have to use special access to find them?
Yes, I found them over the internet. But we became friends over the development process, and they were impressed to know that I speak Chinese, and you know, it's just a great way to connect with people when we speak the same language.
Actually, Europe has some of the best skills
Yes,
of
that's
smartphone. They've actually been doing Nokia development for quite a while, and so we found actually Europe to be quite a pool of resources.
What
there.
country?
Specifically Hungary.
Hungary.
Yeah.
Hungary.
Hungary.
Yeah, excuse me, Hungary. Ooh, by the way, no, just kidding. Yeah, so all over the place, but we really, over the past 6 months, been able to find those really reliable talent pool that really has delivered quality products, and so that's the way that we've found to build this business most effectively.
So you start out with an idea, you listen to the market, you get on the internet, and you find people wherever they are in the world who might be able to help you.
Mhm.
Now you have contracts, right? You have relationships that are legal. How do you set that up, and how do you make your payment to your contractors in Hungary or China? How do you do that?
Very good question, and this is called the wonderful world of, how do you call that?
Well, there's a lot of different online transaction methods. One of the most famous ways, PayPal, and yeah, and so with certain programmers, at first we have to build up trust. We need to know that the code they provide is quality code, and they need to believe that we will pay. And so some of them we actually have to pay on a daily basis. But slowly we move on to bi-weekly and weekly, and now that we have a trust, we can actually pay on a more regular, less frequent basis.
Yeah, but I guess when you go to countries outside the regular course of programming, like the U.S.,
Sure.
you're going to pay a Hungarian programmer a lot less. Am I right? And
That's
you're going to
correct.
pay a Chinese programmer something less. Too.
That's correct, and what we've found is each programmer really has a specialty, and we've actually not only leveraged those specialties but allowed them to communicate together, and so not only creating a network where we are the central point, but also putting them in touch with each other, specifically related to database development and also application development, and having those two communicate, still in prototype form, but actually doing that process, that outsourcing and resourcing, putting them in touch together. They're actually highly motivated by the challenge. They want to really make this work, and of course we do too, and there's enough incentive for them to be actively involved, and of course it's daily contact, but putting them in contact, they're able to produce a product that we can test here locally, and from our experience thus far has been very satisfying.
And you've never met any of them.
Not in person.
Yeah, but you'd be surprised. Video chat and all types of different online communication just makes it feel like first name basis, and it's a way that a startup like ourselves, without billions of dollars in startup capital, can really develop a prototype and actually enter the market without having to, like I said, raise that amount of money.
So how much sophistication did you need to be able to supervise these guys and give them instructions and have them do what sounds like some pretty sophisticated work? How much training, how much experience did you guys have?
Well, we actually went through a big learning curve. We made some mistakes, and now we have a confidence that the people who we're still working with are the ones that are really trustworthy and really talented. And at first we weren't experienced, and so there was some learning curves that we had to go through, some mistakes that we had to make in order to gain that experience.
And I'll speak for Rita. It's the approach. It's the very analytical, very detail-oriented, and that's really her strength. Her science is her background, and so being able to approach a problem in a methodical, scientific way, to provide milestones, very often a reoccurring checkup. What you get is really what you put into it, and so as we communicate more and really put more heart and effort, what we get back is very satisfactory. And so that's how we've built, over the past 6 months, not only a really steep learning curve, but products to prove it.
Yeah. So how long did it take you to get, into a place where you really knew what was going on, where you weren't likely to make mistakes anymore?
It
Good
really
question.
depends on the situation
Okay.
and on the scale of the project. But I would say we're really fortunate to be working at this time of the world where technology is mature for us to do this type of development, and the concept of global village is also mature. So it's not that awkward to work with people who I've never met with, because we speak the same language, and even though we all have different accents, but we understand that we're all human beings and there's a requirement. And another amazing thing is the programming language, Java, C++, HTML, they're the same in any country. And so that makes it easy for us to provide a requirement and different milestones and for the programmers to follow as well.
So you're speaking in English, eh?
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
all these discussions are in English,
Correct.
and you actually get on Skype or something and have chats,
Yes.
and you're talking English on Skype.
That's
Yes.
correct.
And there's all types of sharing programs where you can share real-time information, and they send us code and prototype, and so my job is really testing. Besides, I course do.
Some people think that's the most important.
Sure,
part
I
of
do
it.
also the sales
Takes
and
a lot of
marketing
time.
and actually showing the customer. And it's been really interesting to show the customer and say, look, isn't this amazing? And they say, it's so amazing if you could just change this one thing. And we say, great, give us a month. And we go back and we redevelop. And so it's been this iteration for the past few months where we've had this close connection with customers and with what they're interested in. And of course with our programmers in iterating the product development.
So, Andrew said you had a science background, Rita. What is the science?
I major in biology and.
Oh, that's close.
Yes, it is. I actually had 2 minors, one in math, one in biochemistry, while I
okay.
was up at BYU.
Okay. Oh, you guys have just Bachelor of Science, or you have graduate degrees too?
No, we don't.
Oh, actually, we do have graduate degree. It's called the School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah, I got it.
And we both have an undergraduate where we have graduated, and I had the opportunity to move on and actually go into industry, but I decided to take a little different route and to actually enter the market as an entrepreneur.
So that's the first thing you did after graduating from BYU?
Correct. That was, I of course had a job opportunity lined up. I decided to actually stay here, and I since have earned my CPA, passed my CPA exam, and have not fulfilled the experience requirement. But like I said, I'm getting quite a bit of experience working in my own business.
That is something. So you never actually worked. This is your work.
That's right.
Pretty much. of course, we have.
We both have worked part-time.
Yeah,
just
we
to-
do have
okay.
part-time.
So we have money to pay the rent and buy food, but
So you got to live.
yes,
We
we gotta
do.
live.
But
we
it's not-
You
also
don't
have
have
a-
you don't have trust funds out there that
No, we
that help you
don't.
get
No.
along, right?
No, it's really we are supporting ourselves, and we do have some family that are helping out a little bit. But we do. I actually have a side part-time job that provides pretty well using my accounting degree and my CPA skills to actually bring that to provide. And since then, we're just focusing mostly full-time, day and night, on our product.
So you haven't taken tech courses like Rita has.
And Rita has neither.
No, I
Oh,
haven't.
just
It's mostly science and
Yeah.
math.
Yeah, and self-taught. mostly.
What the real key here, and I think so many undergraduates and even maybe graduates don't know, is that what's most important and that you learn from all of your schooling is how to learn. And if you can know how to learn, you can know how to teach yourself. And there's objectives, there's course requirements, there's group projects. But the bottom line is when you leave a school, what you need to know is how to learn. And so we've been a little bit scared at first, but basically teaching ourselves that, wow, great opportunity. We don't know anything about this. Let's go ahead and start. And so from day one and research, and we've had to have some good advice from some friends, some family, and just take it one step at a time. The key to entrepreneurship is not what you know, but I really think a key element is execution. And a real powerful entrepreneur actually leverages other resources as opposed to their own, and being able to recognize that my resources are finite, and if I were to go learn database and programming, it would actually extend out our product development quite a few years. And so we've actually cut to the chase and found the people who do it the best and make it happen.
So how well did you guys do in school at BYU? I have my guess about how well you did, but why don't you tell me how well you did?
Well, there was a joke that Andrew used to tell me when he would come home from his accounting exams and say, "Oh, I didn't do that well." But someone told me that if you get an A in accounting, you go on what is this?
If you get an A, you'll likely end up as a professor. If you get a B, you'll likely end up as an entrepreneur. And I was the B student. But like I said, I always believe that the grades were not a true reflection of the skills or the abilities of what a person can do. It's one measurement. And so, on the other hand, I'll speak for Rita. She did very well, top student, doing science. She did undergraduate research, actually, which she actually was able to do to completion about hepatitis B.
So when did you guys graduated the same year?
I graduated in January. We graduated together, but I was actually waiting for her for a year. And so during that year process, I was studying diligently for the exam, a CPA exam, and also working at the same time. And this product was also continually under development, the GPS audio tour.
So when did you have the idea for
The phone.
the phone product?
Well, it was in the process when we're trying to meet different customer requirements for the GPS audio tour, and then we realized, hey, this machine is just not giving us enough freedom to program, to develop. And we realized, wait a minute, this is not where the market is going. The market is going to the mobile technology. And so we were noticing that by reading news, we really put forth a lot of time reading technology news, trying to research the market trend, and we're able to see that, hey, this market is up and coming, and we saw the process of it coming, and now it's here. And just from this process of actively doing market research and just staying in touch of development, we're able to see this. And so
Yeah, location-based services is one of the most exciting industries right now, besides green tech. Green tech's got a lot of really good newsworthy media, but mobile applications, 2010 is this year for mobile technology. And we feel we have 6 months head start. And really in Hawaii here, we plan to become a market leader in offering this type of solution.
So you've only worked on this for 6 months?
Specifically, the smartphone development, the concept
Yeah.
was under development prior to that, but more in a written form kind of development of the concept. But the 6 months really heavily focused on development of the product. And so prior to that, the previous year or so was actually focused on the GPS audio tour. But during that process, like I said, we began to see
Realize,
the market
yeah.
change.
So what role did the entrepreneurship center at BYU play in all of this? Did you get mentoring there? How does it work? Tell me about the process.
I would say that our biggest teacher was actually a minor degree in Stanford. And what I mean by that is there's actually quite a variety of podcasts from the Entrepreneurship Center in Stanford. And they provided a whole broad spectrum of really influential people giving really engaging discussions. That was one resource. The second resource was the Entrepreneurship Center. They have very weathered and tried and very successful entrepreneurs that we actually went to on quite a few occasions to show the concept and have them kind of tear down the concept and rebuild it as we continue to innovate. So definitely played a key role not only in providing some initial funding for a seed stage, but also that slap on the back to keep going.
So you're looking for additional funding now, further funding, second funding.
Yes.
Where will you go? Where do you guys go at this point? Given the demise of Act 221 and all those incentives that might otherwise make it easier.
Yes, we looked into Act 221 and was sad to see it go, hoping that something will be passed here in legislation. As I've heard, there's currently some interesting concepts under discussion. But yes, we are looking for additional funding. We're contacting not only friends, families, and fools, no, just kidding, but we're also
And former friends, yeah.
we're currently in contact, or actively in beginning, I guess, stages of venture capital discussion, angel investors. There is some VCs who will fund early stage like us. Others more likely get angel funding at this point. So we've just basically, like I say, finished a prototype, and over the next month or two will be discussion with many of the local entrepreneurs and business people here locally to raise that seed capital to basically complete the product.
Downtown, like the Angels.
Yes.
Angels, Hawaii Venture Capital Association are resources that we're interested in showing and explaining this concept because, like I said, this is an exciting industry, and it's really exciting to be involved in it. And we're looking for mentors based here locally to build out our advisory board as well, so that we can continue, like I said, not only meeting the market but actively developing it with the support of funding.
Boy, you guys have come a long way for recent graduates. So what about your business plan? When you get the funding, what are the next steps you're going to take in order to expand these ideas?
Sure. I guess it's my turn.
Yeah, your turn. I already did my talk.
Well, actually, we've been maintaining this lean startup mode for a long time, and we've been partially self-funded, student loan, and partially funded by the Center of Entrepreneurship and a little bit by Andrew's and our parents. And so it's been kind of difficult, but we managed to make it through. And so in order to build out this product, to offer it to local businesses and travelers alike, we need more programmers to do faster development. Right now we have one full-time and several part-time working on per project basis, but we need about 2 to 3 full-time programmers to work with us, and that's where our funding will mostly go to. The other ones will also be sales and marketing, just to promote our product locally first, to get it out and let people know it.
These are great ideas, and you do run the risk in the world today that somebody will try to take your ideas and steal them and knock you off and try to get into your space. So what are you doing to protect yourself against that possibility?
That's a very good question, Jay, and it's a hard question for us. Being a lean startup, we don't have a lot of additional money to help us patent our ideas, but we've tried our best. We have copyrighted our scripts for audio tour. We also have copyrighted the audio material as well.
Yes, the content.
The content, and we trademark our logos and our company. And as far as patent, we actually have consulted with a patent lawyer, and he does not necessarily recommend that we patent our idea at this point. And so what we're trying to do is execute it. We want to put it out in the market. We want to establish our brand so people will love our brand and use it instead of going to others.
Mm-hmm.
And the way we plan to really maintain ourselves as a market leader to keep others out is, one core advantage is by providing a really local solution. This is an island, and that's actually one of the advantages, is because it's an island, you really can provide local content, that you have engaged customers who have a great need for information from anywhere from 2 to 10 days. And so by providing that local content, that's one way. We also hope to actually co-brand the product concept. So not only is it Honolulu City Guide as we brand it, Travomate Honolulu City Guide, but we'll be co-branding it. So for example, with some hotels, for example, where we can work with them to have a hotel application that they can get at a very cost-effective price that is put in direct relationship to the Travomate Honolulu City Guide. So the customers in their hotel would like information about their own hotel, guest services, room service, but in addition, that will be co-branded with the City Guide. And so they will actually be one of our biggest supporters in helping distribute the product, which is really important in gaining traction. So as we co-brand with these local business leaders here in Hawaii, we feel that is quite a bit of leverage in keeping competitors out, because we have a city guide that is co-sponsored or co-branded with many of the big players, because we make applications for them as part of this service. And without going into too much detail, that's just an overview of how we feel we have a very good idea here.
There are other possibilities, that come to mind about this. So are the two going to converge? Is the city guide and the GPS tour guide going to converge one day into one category killer type of product? Is that what's going to happen?
Well, we actually have an app. It's a GPS audio tour app. If you don't mind, I would like to show you that on the phone.
Sure. I'm always interested.
Awesome. Let's see. Let me just wake the phone up first.
Okay, just hold it flat. Yeah, that's
like that?
No. Same angle as the camera. Okay.
Okay. One of the app we developed is actually still at the prototype stage. It's called Waikiki Historic Trail. We have developed it with Scott Mikuliski up at BYU Hawaii. Basically, this is an application where it shows 14 locations down in Waikiki, and while you walk around, the program will automatically be triggered by the GPS locations, and will play the audio tour to you. Let me just directly go to...
So just to give you an idea, this is the surfboard markers that you see around Waikiki. There's 23 of them, and they're all full of history. There's so much history in Waikiki. And so what we've done is actually produce this walking audio tour in both English and Japanese. And so as they walk around, many of them sometimes aimlessly shopping, they can actually learn quite a bit of history about what has been the history that has been here.
So I want to show one of the audios for a location that's called the Healing Stones, which is right next to the fire stations in Waikiki. So this is what a user will hear when they walk near the Healing Stones.
Waikiki, with all its hotels, restaurants, and tourist attractions, does not seem a likely place to find sacred stones. But here they are, 4 huge stones: Kapai Mahu, Kahaloa, Kapuni, and Kinohi.
And so that was just a 10-second excerpt from the 23 audios we have. And of course, users, they can click around to look at pictures, modern pictures, historical pictures, and see the text information of it. So yeah, we've done it. We combine GPS audio tour technology with cell phone technology, and we produce GPS audio apps on the cell phone.
Just correct the Zoom here. Okay.
Okay.
So I want to tell you and actually ask you if you've ever heard about Steven Spielberg's website. It's a series of websites called Talking Streets. I'll tell you briefly what it is,
Sure.
and there's something parallel, if not valuable, for you here. The first one he did was in Lower New York, Lower Manhattan, in the East Side, Lower East Side. And there would be a brass plaque on the front of every historic building, and you would have your cell phone, and it would tell you to dial a 900 number.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
And then you would dial an extension, which was the place number of that building, the special stop number. And then you would get a radio play that was very well produced about what happened in that building, with historic figures being played by real actors.
Yeah.
And Ben Stiller's father, Jerry Stiller, was one of his early actors for this.
Wow.
And so you can make a tour of the Lower East Side now using your cell phone, going from stop to stop and learning in detail, in depth,
Yes.
what happened in each one of these historic buildings.
Wow.
And then he went and did it in Chicago and other cities. And if you look at talkingstreets.com, you will see how this has expanded. It's about 10 years old now.
Wow.
And it's a very creative site, and somehow I think you guys will be able to get some ideas if you look at this, because
Yeah.
he's obviously a very talented guy, and creative
Definitely.
guy, and maybe something that he's done would be something you can do.
Sure,
Yes.
sure. Or maybe go and work with him to
Yeah.
produce his tours here. So
The other thought that comes to mind, and I wanted to mention this to you, is that couldn't you go further than just having relationships with hotels and tour agencies? Couldn't you actually have arrangements with certain shops, certain restaurants, where they would have, say, a plaque in the window, and your tour, your GPS tour program would lead them there, and then they would get a discount. The
Yes.
tourist would get a discount, and the shopkeeper would agree to give them a discount. All
Sure.
they have to do is present your program, and everybody
Exactly.
wins,
exactly.
Exactly.
And this is what you've just talked about is really the icing on the cake for our product. It's called location-based advertising. It's a very up-and-coming industry as well. And we do plan to do this in a variety of ways, not only by allowing the business to upload their own content that they can access, but actually have the content be activated based on GPS location. So as they walk the street, if they opt in to this opportunity, basically they can have content that is pushed to their device. So they can actively know about what's going on, whether it's an event or activity, a free giveaway, or even just a discount. All of this can be actually pushed to the device so that the customer can, hopefully in a non-intrusive type of way, can actually actively make decisions from the handheld device.
Well,
So-
you know, the funny thing is I went to a tech conference in the year 2001 or so. It was organized by Sony, and they talked about exactly this kind of
Yes.
thing, but the technology wasn't really ready for
That's
it.
correct.
It didn't happen. But sounds like you have the ability now to make
That's
it
correct.
happen.
And just to give you a little history, there was a Japanese-based company who had come to the island of Oahu to do a concept on a smartphone device about 5 years ago. What ended up happening is after about $1 million or so, they actually went back unsuccessful. And so as we've approached the market, some people had some speculation about if it's feasible. And what I tell them is technology 5 years ago was quite a change from what it is today. 5 years ago, there wasn't even such a thing called the iPhone. And now there's other operating systems becoming more standardized and more flexible and really providing a product that can be not only scaled for English but also other languages. Just a really powerful operating system that really we plan to leverage for our product.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to talk to you about in the next few minutes. I would like to talk about the logical extension of this idea to other.
Great.
And for example, there's a lot of cities in the world.
That's correct.
That's correct.
I mean, you could go your whole life and you wouldn't run out of cities.
That's right. Well, let's take, for example, Beijing. This is a
Okay,
great
fair.
example because I think from an American's perspective, the product has benefits for a variety of customers, but people who are international travelers have a special need for information. They get off the airport, everything's in Chinese, for example, and they're really not sure what are the best places to go, where are the safe places to go, and where are the places you won't get food poisoning, for example. The variety
that doesn't happen anymore.
no, it doesn't happen. So you want information that you can understand in your own language. And so what we'll be able to do is have our database, our content management system there locally with businesses to upload their information in multi-languages based on the phone preference, the locale of the phone. Let's say you're an American visitor, then you can access all of that English content and actively, contact them or look at the menu, the directions.
Look at the user feedbacks.
Yeah, and the other really powerful thing is customer review. Is what we like really about the market now is that people are getting more and more familiar with providing comments on blogs or reviews on websites. And so combining those elements into our product with customer reviews as well as business offerings, what you get is a very fair and balanced point of view where the customer feels, okay, I know what they're trying to sell me, but guess this is what everyone else said. And so what the ultimate result of this is the customer is going to get the best product and service possible. Because if businesses will continue to change and offer better and more competitive based on their competitors. And so what we hope is to I guess this is a bigger goal, and I don't want to get too outside of our core concept, but to maybe reshape the way that tourism is done in Hawaii in some regards, with regards to information distribution and the way information is consumed here in Hawaii.
To sum up, what he was saying is we do have the plan to expand outside of Hawaii in one line.
Well, when I think of, there have been various adventures into the non-conventional tourism in Hawaii, but actually I don't think any of them have been all that successful. Maybe some of the adventure stuff, that's been of interest. But there's so many things in Hawaii the tourist never gets to see. And so it's a layered kind of thing. There's the veneer on the top and all those drill down things that tourists would be interested in knowing about.
Exactly.
And you could set that up.
For example, it's a level playing field. It's not so much who has the most money that gets the most promotion and gets the most customers. This is a level playing field where even those small local shops that sell, for example, soap or local crafts and goods, they have the same opportunity to be on the phone and to offer their services. And so there's customers, all types of customers, and the first time customers want to do all that fun Hawaii stuff, but the second time customers, which by the way is really increasing, is this repeat customers, they want more of a local experience. And so through this application they can access that. What are the locals saying? What's the best shrimp truck? And not what's the most popular shrimp truck, what's really the best one based on user feedback. So this is one way where you can really provide specific content to the return visitors.
Yeah, the power of the computer, it reminds me of something I've become aware of, and namely that through the city's computers you can take a slice of every residence, of every building, and see the plumbing, the electrical, the foundation, all those things that were involved in the various building permits. So likewise, you guys can take a slice of this city or any city, and you can show people things they never saw before, things that are the kind of things you take back to your friends in Cleveland, and you tell them stuff that will make their eyes go big.
Yeah.
That how you found this out and why you went there and what you learned.
Exactly.
So it's educational tourism, you know.
It
could
is.
be a tour of the courts, of the legislature.
Yeah.
It could be a tour of Chinatown, which doesn't really, in my view, have a really good tour going on.
Yeah, it's
It's just
interactive.
endless.
Yes.
It's an interactive experience
Yeah.
where these independent visitors can have information, experience information, video, multimedia content, where before it was a print magazine that maybe was a few months outdated. And so by going this route with the mobile device, even their own mobile device, it's just a powerful tool.
Yeah, and it's not only by car, it's by walking.
Both, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the power of mobile.
So the tourists love to walk, and if you can help them go to the right places.
Yeah, our offices are in Waikiki, and I've seen quite a few lost tourists, and part of our product is to help to hopefully get them where they need to go.
Andrew and Rita Fowers, thank you so much for coming down to our program today. As I said, you guys undoubtedly were born under the same star. Aloha, Saijin, xie xie.
Thank you.
Thank you.